Hello everyone, welcome to episode 5. In this episode, I will talk about keeping a book list, the Goodreads application, and creating a library. I save the books I have in an Excel list. I created 4 titles as the name of the book, the name of the author, the genre, and the language. And every time I buy a new book, I add it to this list. Of course, titles such as the publisher and the year of the publication can be added, but after a while it starts to be difficult to write them all, and I prefer to use less titles instead of leaving it completely. Of course, there are applications for this job, but since I started keeping an Excel list long before those applications came out, I did not quit Excel, I continue. Thanks to this list, you can see how many books you have and which genres you have given more weight. You can also mark the ones you like the most, and this list can be a guide for you to sort them by type or so while sorting them into your library. I use the Goodreads app to save the books I've read. I don't have every book I read in print because I read some books as e-books and use the app to keep a record. There are many features on Goodreads. You can comment on books, give ratings, read comments made by others. You can see what your friends are reading and what they have read. There is a challenge feature. For example, at the beginning of each year, you write down how many books you will read that year and try to complete that goal. This is a feature that can encourage you to read books. I've been writing to this goal only for a few years. Because trying to achieve the goal makes you rush towards the end and you want to finish the book you read as soon as possible, which may cause a decrease in the enjoyment you get while reading the book, or makes you think that should I read a thin book that you have no intention of reading at all. So the job turns from reading to hitting the target number. Other than that, it's a nice feature. If that's the case, then you are going to say, don't use this feature, but I like that it categorizes it year by year. I also think like this. If I have read that one book that will benefit me among the dozens of books I have read in that year, it means that I have achieved my goal. It is necessary to make a separate episode for the subject of creating a library, but I would like to touch on it a little in this episode too. When you take information from a physical object, a book, you abstract it. When you think the opposite, having a library full of books or even a library full of bookcases is like transforming and concretizing the information you get from those books into a physical structure. Of course, this only applies if you read the books. When you place it in the library without reading it, the book and the information do not undergo this transformation. The books we haven't read can also stay in our library, there is nothing wrong with that, but with the ones we read. When I think of my library or look at it, I don't just see the books, but I also see myself. Because all or most of the books that made me who I am and developed me are there. Seeing only the books in the library is like saying you can't see the forest from the trees.